Friday. You guys, it is your girl, Levina J, and you are back once again for the Just Levina podcast. And we are here another Friday, you guys. I can't believe it. I can't believe we're already now 4 episodes in at the 503 DTLA studio, and I'm just beyond grateful and thankful. So today we have an amazing guest once again, my girl Kristian Renè. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell everybody who you are.
Hello, you guys. I'm Kristian Renè. I'm the founder of Junkie Boutique. You can go ahead and find us on Instagram at junkie boutique. I'm sorry, at junkie_boutique, and shop our collection. Follow us and stay tuned to our holiday sales and holiday looks that we have coming out.
Good stuff. Good. Let me tell y'all, when I tell y'all quality, like even if you ever just get a chance to go to the showroom, all of her designs are A1, like top tier. I love it. So today, our national holiday that we're going to get into is none other than National Common Sense Day. National Common Sense Day. I feel like this is probably going to go down in history as one of my favorite national holidays because there was something that I learned as a child, and it is that people don't often have the sense that is common. And we always think that people do, but sometimes they just really don't. So, to explain what it is to Kristian and to everybody here, common sense is the applied knowledge of simple and sensible things, such as to not putting metal into a microwave or jumping into a river without knowing what's under the water. These things are common sense, and that is what is an observance today. So, if you ever wondered why or how you achieve common sense, is simply just applying your practical knowledge and putting into action. There's no secret sauce. There's no secret sauce to common sense. I promise you.
Common sense is not so common.
It's not. It's really not. And it's a shame that that's true, but it literally
some
is.
People who put paper plates in a oven.
In the oven?
In the oven. The little portable ovens. Yeah. I've worked at several companies, and they'll put the paper plate. They'll be warming up a pizza or something, and they'll put the piece on top of a paper plate and put the paper plate inside the portable oven.
Please don't. Please don't. Y'all stop doing these things. Don't put foil in the microwave. Don't put paper plates in the oven. Don't do anything that could potentially hurt you or somebody else, because that's really it. Like, if you want to operate in a way that can cause you harm, feel free, but don't do that for everybody else. Like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. So now that we know we in this room are operating from a common sense perspective, what or how should you tell someone, if you're interested in a relationship, that you cannot see potential to go past the friend zone? Like, what do you feel like is the best way for somebody to let another person know, like, hey, I'm not feeling it. I don't feel like we're going to get past this. Like, I just don't see you that way. Yeah.
The best way is to be straightforward in any relationship. You have to be straightforward. If you leave the person guessing, then there's always like a guess for maybe it's potential, maybe, I can work up to it, maybe it's this, maybe this isn't the right time, I could come back later.
Yeah.
No, you have to be straightforward, just, I don't see it happening now, I don't see it happening in the future. This isn't what I have envisioned for myself.
Yeah. So how do we, because I see a lot of women, especially on social media, they get into this habit of like, okay, well, I don't see anything past a friend with this man, but they don't tell the man, and they still want to be like treated. They still want to go to dinner. They still want to go out and, be treated to whatever thing they want to be treated to, but they already know they don't want to be
in the relationship.
Yeah.
That's the double standard, because men today, they want to date you and they want all the perks and everything that comes with dating you, even though they don't see you as wife potential. They don't want to marry you or anything. So I mean, it goes hand in hand. That's the double standard. A man doesn't want you to take advantage of him and his so-called pockets or the perks that a woman takes advantage of when it comes to dating, but a man doesn't see anything wrong with wanting something a little extra while he
a little bit of some
a little meat on the side.
No, but okay, so you think it's like that's just one of those things we kind of got to deal with, like it goes hand in hand. This is what women do, this is what men do,
yes.
and it just kind of is what it. Okay, yes, well y'all heard it here.
How you want access to everything, but you don't want to get, like
no, I do
little to take a little.
Yes,
so you can, it's give take.
It's a balance. Like I don't like using the 50-50 term because I feel like people be taking that and running with it somewhere else.
Right.
But I do think that it is one of those things where it's just a standard of like, if you're a woman and you know the truth, I think you should be honest. And if you're a man and you know the truth on what you want and what you're desiring, you should be honest. And I think that people would have more successful interactions that way in general. Like they
if
would
it's just that common ground, that common understanding. Like, this is what I expect if we're dating, and we take it past this point, and vice versa.
And then you can agree, or you can agree to disagree. You don't got to agree with everything, but you can definitely agree to disagree for sure. Okay, so on the topic of dating, is it okay to not be ready to settle down because you're like, you want to be in the streets, you want to be single, you want to have your experiences, and then switch to people who are married and then decide to cheat? So like, hey, I don't want to be in a relationship, I want to be single, I want to live my life, but then dating somebody who's married or dating somebody on the side who's still in a relationship.
When it comes to someone who is in a relationship, I feel like in today's world, you meet a lot of men who are still dating, but they're in a relationship. They're either married, they either have that super strong, we been together baby mama that I'm not together with, but I'm with her.
We together, but we not really together.
Yes. I don't know what to call that. I don't know. We just have this weird culture now. I try and stay away from people like that, because if you have a baby mama, you still going over to see her, or whatever the case may be, there's a certain chemistry that's there. And for me and where I stand, maybe that's, women's different women, they want different things out of a relationship. Maybe they never grew up in a household with a father, a man over the household, or seen their mother in a steady relationship. So their idea of a relationship is different. But I grew up with a family atmosphere, a man over the house, my mother taking care of the house. So my idea, like, I would never want to come in between a man and his family, whatever he has going on, no matter if he's cheating on his side, or I just feel like it's bad karma.
I mean, I just cannot fathom in my mind being okay with being number two, because I feel like eventually everybody wants to be number one. Like, nobody really truly wants to play that role forever.
If you're talking to a person, like, in the back of my head, I can't speak for everyone, but in the back of my head, like, okay, like, you're planning on making me number one. Like, you have a situation, or, but I don't want to be in a situation where, like, I don't want to sit there and lie to myself on. There needs to be common ground. Yes, there needs to be common grounds on the end goal of where you're trying to make it to.
Yeah, I agree. And it's not necessarily, there's what, like 8 billion people in the world. You don't have to be a side dude. You don't have to be a side chick. Like, there's literally so many people on this earth. There is someone for everyone. And there's actually more female options as it pertains to being a man. Like, a man has his pick, I think, like 4 or 5 to 1 of women. So it's Like, it's not really necessary to even have to play that side role. I think people just get comfortable, and sometimes people don't want the pressure of being in a commitment. Like, okay, I'm in a committed relationship, this is what I am, this is what I'm doing. And then they would rather just see somebody, because I hear this a lot too. There's times where like I have my wedding ring on, or there's times where I'll like forget it and have it on. And the times that I have it on and I'm in public, more men hit on me in public with my wedding ring on than if I don't have it on. And it's because, like, I guess it's that thing, do people want something that isn't already wanted? But I don't feel like that's a healthy route to go. So
like they see, they can't see the potential in the single woman, because apparently the single woman is single for a reason.
Yes.
But since you are taken and have someone, it must be something that you have that they don't have.
They know you can commit.
We don't know what we have until someone else has it.
Exactly. Or until someone else wants it. Right. Because then you'd be like, oh, wait, hold on. I thought, and that's a kid thing too, right? Like, you can give one kid a toy and one kid another toy, and then when one child gets bored, they want the other person's thing. And I think that's how we get in society. It's like, oh no, I have this thing, I love it, I enjoy it, this is what I'm about. And then it's like the minute we get bored, we want to switch. We want to change it up. So I agree. Along with this, as we're talking about like cheating and all this stuff, I sent you this video. And it was the podcast, Know For Sure podcast. Shout out to B. Simone. And she actually got a lot of backlash for the statement, but she was saying that, in a way, and I'm paraphrasing y'all, so don't come for me like that's not what she said. What she said in a nutshell was she didn't feel like Martin Luther King was as great as we portray him to be, because he was cheating on his wife. So it's kind of like, is he really a great leader? Is he really a great father? Was he really all those things? So what do you think? Do you agree?
Martin Luther King is still the only person in history. No one has had the audacity to stand up the way that Martin Luther King did. No one is gathering up crowds of people, bringing crowds of people together the way Martin Luther King did. As far as his love life and his marriage life, all we know is that he cheated on his wife. I think he had a baby with somebody else. That's all we know. We don't know what his trials and tribulations were going on at that point in his life. Maybe it was a cooling period for him. We don't know how. Our grandparents were very good at making things look like they were all together.
Yes.
And we don't, so I can't speak on his behalf on the reason why he stepped outside of his relationship and ended up with another child. I don't know what it was that he felt like he was lacking, or where he was in his relationship for him to go that route. But in no way does that take away from his courage to stand up the way that he did, and at the time that he did. We are afraid to stand up in this society.
Look, even now,
we're not getting lynched today.
Look, nobody don't want to get canceled. Nobody don't want none of that. I think the thing about it is we take away the humanity of people. Like, for one, nobody is perfect. I'm not perfect. Like, nobody on this earth is perfect at all. And so I think that we have this thing where somebody's sin is worse than ours. Right. If we don't do that thing, like if you're in a relationship and you're able to stay committed and you never cheat or have any other outside relationships, then you're better than someone else. Or, we just have this belief across the board that if somebody's in prison or if somebody's a felon and they've paid their debt to society, they come back, they're still less than. So just because they've done something that you would deem worse than anything you ever have done, we end up wanting to take their credit as a human being. And so I think I understand where she was coming from, because she was just kind of like, well, was he really that great? Like, he was great in all these other areas, but he was failing in that one area. But I think that that's true for everybody.
Yes.
I think we're doing great in a lot of things and we're
Yes.
failing in some area. Like, if you could have somebody, like, even if you had a life coach to walk through your day with you, you would be like, at some point, that life coach would be like, you could have been more productive there. And you may get an attitude because you're like, I feel like I'm doing everything that I need to do in my life. And that's what I think. And so I don't agree with her. I do think he's human, and I think it's okay to allow people their humanness. And in that, they can be great at many things and fail in one area, and it's still okay because that's what humans do.
Right. Yes. Yes.
I hope y'all hear that. I hope y'all don't walk around here judging people. I know cancel culture is a big deal, but you do not have to operate that way. As much as I get upset with some of these, and I will go ahead and bring it up even now. So, Drake, 21 Savage, new song. Drake made mention of Megan. How she lied about being shot. She responds on Twitter. She's like, man, all these rappers want to use my name for clout, yada, yada. And she goes in, and that's the thing. It's like, at first, when I was talking to someone about it, I was like, oh man, that's kind of jacked up. Like, why do all these male rappers feel like they have to mention these female rappers in a negative light? And then this person said to me, they said, well, rap is its own genre. So whether you're male or female, you're a rapper. Yeah, so you're fair game. And then I was like, damn, because we talk about equality every day. Yeah. Every day women are like, I want to be equal. I want to make the same money. And now you're getting what men get in the industry. Like, you getting a diss, you getting what they do to get streams. And you're like, oh, they're using me for clout. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think he was using her as clout. I feel like he was calling her out for sure. Yeah. For sure. Everybody was saying it. People were saying it. But then it was kind of like this, like, nah, why would she do something like that? But I mean, it's a known fact. It wasn't, I don't think he can get any more clout off of it than what was already given. I mean, for her, in her situation, that seemed like a clout situation.
To take advantage of it. Yeah.
So how you use this as a clout situation? How can you get mad at somebody else for quote unquote doing the same thing?
Yes, I agree. And it's like,
had it in the tabloids. It was everywhere.
It's everywhere. And it just happened yesterday. It just happened yesterday. That's how fast we move. That's how fast we move with social media. These thumbs, baby, they be clicking away. But I thought that was so interesting because also in that fact, it's kind of like, and I love Megan. I think she's dope. I think what she did for women as a movement is amazing, especially in the industry where it was previously predominantly taken over by men. I just feel like Megan, girl, we love you. You got your fan base. But Drake has been around since. Like, I've been listening to Drake since I was in high school.
Yeah,
so he doesn't really have to do anything for clout. Like, anything he does, we're like waiting. We need the Instagram captions.
He's trying to come up off of my name, off of my story.
How? Like, in what way? And it's crazy. It's crazy to think that you could believe that, but people do.
I did love the comment. Did you see what what's his name? Alexis, I think, Serena's husband said about the comment made about him?
No, what did he say?
He said, I do everything 100%. So if I'm a groupie for my wife, I'm gonna be the best at it.
Look, as you should.
Okay.
If you ever wanted to know, is Levina a groupie? Yep. For one person.
One person,
just
right?
Just one. And I got his last name. That's it.
If you're in a relationship I feel like that's one of the qualities that I look for within a relationship is that support. Like that's a quality that you have to have. You have to be that person that's gonna be by my side. Like I have dreams and ambitions of my own, and if I'm with somebody, like I could do this by myself without you. So, but I would want somebody by my side, supporting and making sure, keeping me together. If you're not by my side, keeping me together, then it's kind of like I don't really, it's not really a space for you. I can do this myself. Like I can you need that person pushing you, person by your side, that person making sure whatever your thing is, your podcast, your clothing store, your whatever you're trying to, you got some type of backing support, rather if it's just moral support, rather if it's physical support, just not someone that's going to try and speak down on what you're trying to do, what you trying to place into the atmosphere. Like you want that person to speak life into,
just 100%. Listen, y'all, call 911. Call right now, because Kristian about to send y'all. We need an ambulance immediately. She is going in. But I agree, because if there's one thing about me, it's something that I actually enjoy about my life, is that I understand that there's a point of independence, right? And you have a business. I'm building a business. I feel like I'm learning something every single day. But in that, I enjoy going home and not having to be that. I enjoy going home and be able to be like, oh, okay, where's my babies? Where's my man? Like, it's time to like unwind, unbuckle, take my bra off. Like I'm ready to live my what I consider my real life outside of all this stuff. And that is my favorite part, I feel like, of every day. Like when I go to bed and I'm saying why I'm thankful, is because of that. And it's not because it's not amazing what women go out in this world and do every day. It literally is. You see women, single mothers, married, relationships, partners,
right,
all types of things. But I enjoy the part of getting to be soft, having someone next to me that supports my dreams for real, that takes them and and makes them theirs. And I want to do that for somebody too.
Exactly, makes it theirs. That's like the key element, because everyone is it just seems like in this society, everyone's out for themselves.
Yes.
And you share certain things, you want advice from certain things, or have certain conversations with the person that you're even considering to be your significant other.
Yeah.
But if they're not pulling or pouring in that same energy or showing that same interest, it's kind of like a one-sided thing, a brick wall in between the two, some type of,
Exactly. And I think that's the thing, because you said our grandparents made it look so easy. And I think that is true. I think that like our grandparents and our great grandparents did this show of what it looked like as far as what I call public consumption, like what it looks to everybody out here. This is what we're going to keep on lock.
Our grandparents was so it was everything of the way that you dressed, the way that you presented yourself, and it was everything. That was the relationship too. Grandma probably knew Grandpa was out there creeping, doing X, Y, and Z.
Look,
she didn't speak on it.
She wasn't worried about it. She wasn't stalking nobody's Instagram.
She was being taken care of. That's why.
Exactly.
And I'm not about to ruin. I got these kids to take care of. I got this household, this roof over my head, and this household to keep together. I can't worry about this man and what he might be doing on whatever. But yeah, it was all about the way things looked to them.
Yes, it was public consumption. They were going to deal with what they were dealing with behind closed doors, but
they didn't want to be, oh, sister so and so.
Hello, Barbara. This is Shirley. So with that, because you said how we dress, so how do you feel about what I would call this epidemic of bonnets in public?
Bonnets in public.
How do you feel?
You know what? I think that is a fashion fail, just like pajamas was a fashion fail. Like, I look back on that when we was in like junior high school.
Wearing pajamas, girl.
I remember being in junior high school and going shopping for 4th of July clothes. And my 4th of July clothes was some pajamas.
Yeah.
And look at why did we do that?
I don't know. Now I love me a good. I really like old school pajamas, like a silk gown, like something, because it just makes me feel like a woman.
Yes.
Those are like my favorite things. But I do understand, and I remember being in high school, junior high, and be like, "Oh, we need to get matching pajamas." And I think the bonnets is a fashion fail.
With your tennis shoes, though.
Full on shoes,
man.
Sneakers, sandals, flip flops. I even was guilty. I'm gonna keep it real, y'all. That's the only way for me to do it. I would wear my slippers with my pajamas to school.
Was it the Chinese?
Yes, yes. I would wear my slippers with my pajamas to school, and I thought I was really doing something. No, I wasn't doing anything.
Look, shout out to our parents for letting us.
My mom never let me. I had to sneak. I had to sneak it in my backpack and put it on at school and then take it off.
Yeah, because I don't know if I would be a trooper like that as a mother. Oh yeah, you can wear your pajamas.
She was trying to instill what grandma was trying to say, and that's what I'm saying about these bonnets. Mm-hmm. So I do feel like y'all gonna come for me, aren't y'all? Please stop wearing bonnets in public. Mm-hmm. Like, I could even care less if you had a hat on with a raggedy bun. Like, just take off the bonnet.
I thought that's why we had do-rags. And I thought that's why, they have the fashion forward type of do-rag.
Like scarves
why the bonnets? Yeah, like the scarves, the Versace scarves and stuff. Why bonnets though?
I feel like it's people. What I have heard women say is that they feel like it's their strength. Like, this is how I'm comfortable, and if somebody's gonna accept me, if somebody's gonna accept me, they need you to accept me with the bonnet. Now,
in the household. Now, I don't know if y'all remember, but in Cinderella, they said. Yes. You don't let him know the real you until after you get married. That's the secret to it all.
Look, I wear my bonnet every night to sleep. You don't keep curls like this without a bonnet. It's faithfully, it is religion to wear your bonnet. My daughter wears a bonnet, so it is what it is. And if you guys hear my kids in the background right now, guess who's here? My kids. It's I live a whole nother life. Yeah. But what I will never do is be out with my kids with a bonnet on. I will never be out here. Yes, I would even, because there's sometimes like special events, you got your hair in rollers or like pinned up, like pin curls. And yes, I understand that, but just, you don't have to wrap it up. I really don't get concerned about stuff like that. I'm like, oh, she got somewhere to be. This woman, she's living a life. Like, she's of importance. Like, girl, yes, with your rollers in, but not a bonnet.
Maybe if they came out with a more fashionable way to wear a bonnet.
There's no fashionable way to wear it.
I mean, fashion, like, maybe different, but we're talking about just satin.
Just satin with the yes, and then now we got them long. If you got long hair, if you got braids,
you wrap it around.
Yes.
No, keep that at home. Keep it to yourself.
Keep it at home. And you guys heard it from a fashionista. She said it was a fashion fail. Let's stop. Stop wearing these bonnets in public.
That's not trend. That is not a trend.
Yes. So, as we're talking about bonnets, I do feel like that is a boundary. Mm-hmm. So as we are transitioning, I want to ask, how do you feel about the line between toxicity and boundaries? Like, where do you feel like the line is between the two? Like,
toxicity and boundaries. I feel like any relationship that's going to take my peace away, and constantly, like, even after you explain and be like, I don't like it when you do X, Y, and Z. And then it's like you're at this crossroad where that thing is coming up again. That's where it becomes toxic. That's where it comes like, okay, there's no respect in this relationship. The boundary is in the initial, like, yo, that's not cool. I'm not comfortable with that. I can't, I'm not okay with that. And then, after that, if it's a repeated behavior, that's the toxic, because then, it's like it elevates every time. Like, I have to let you know more and more.
Yeah.
And that's where it becomes toxic.
Yeah. I think the same way I said allow people their humanity, you have to allow people their boundaries. And everyone's boundaries are not the same. But I think toxic behavior is clear. And I think sometimes we take the word and kind of run with it because it's a word that is now used across all platforms to explain certain things. But there's things that I don't believe are toxic that people say, oh, like that's toxic behavior.
Like, what would you, what's
I feel like some people say, and Olivia and I talked about this when she was on here. We were talking about sharing your phone codes and passwords with your significant other. But it's one of those things where it's like, that's not toxic. If somebody wants to see what's in your phone or know your password or something, like if you're in a committed relationship,
Right.
that's not toxic behavior.
It should be trust.
Yes.
It's a bond. It's you guys are seeing eye to eye. Not every eye, and you know what? Maybe certain people would like to call it toxic because not everyone has that type of trust within a relationship.
Yes.
But no, yeah, I wouldn't say it's toxic.
I don't think so. I think it's people having and creating boundaries and standards. And that's the other thing. I think when you have this conversation, you have to blend it with standards, because it's like, yes, you have boundaries. Yes, things can be toxic. But when you have a standard for your life, it's easy, because then you can just tell people, no, this is how I operate, and you can get with it or you don't have to. And we can part ways, and there has to be no negativity behind it. It's just, if you're a polygamist and I'm not a polygamist, then we just not gonna be able to rock together.
I just don't see things eye to eye.
Yes, but that doesn't make you toxic or me toxic. That just means our standards and beliefs for life are not the same.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's. I mean, yeah. I guess.
Yeah, it's just, I think we have to blend all those things together. But
I do think a toxic relationship is, you have some partners you have is just consistent lying, even unnecessary lying.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
and then it's a possibility that the person's gonna find out, and then it's gonna be an argument or whatever. This person's gonna react a certain, or when you just purposely do stuff that the other person. Some partners, some men, some women, they're just super petty.
Yeah.
So it'd be something simple as like leaving a napkin here. Oh,
Yeah.
I know I left that napkin.
Yes.
But I just want him to say something about.
Yeah.
That's unnecessary.
You can't be testing people's gangster all the time. And not off of napkins, not off of
like petty,
petty things.
Like a phone call. Oh, she want me to call her at 12? Okay, I'm gonna call her at 5. Like,
just operate the way you need to operate. It's really not that deep.
Yes.
Okay, so I feel like this time keeps flying by. This time is flying by, but I want to ask if there's one thing you wanted people to take away from any conversation that we've had today, or anything that you just believe in general. What is one takeaway, and you could tell everyone like what you feel that is?
Just with relationships. I think I have mentioned it before, but I just stand firm on the idea that we have with relationships. We always think a relationship, like a relationship is going to be one way. And just like in the situation with Coretta Scott and Martin Luther King, he wasn't a perfect person. He probably was a lot of things that she loved, and she valued about him, but he wasn't a perfect person. And we have to, but he, I think what Simone even said, he was a good father. He was this, he was that, he was a provider and stuff. In a relationship, no one is perfect. You're not gonna be perfect in that relationship. He's not gonna be perfect in that relationship. And the relationship or the person that's for you, it's not gonna always come. It's hardly ever gonna come the way that you think it's gonna come.
Yes.
It's gonna come, what I always say, packaged a different way. We always have an idea of what God has for us and the way it's gonna be packaged.
Yes.
And it always comes a different way.
Yes.
And I always give the example of the woman who was caught in a disaster and was waiting for God to answer her prayers. And I think she was waiting on a boat, and God, it was a helicopter that came, and she kept missing her blessing. She missed her blessing about 3 times, ended up drowning in the story because the blessing didn't come
the way she wanted,
the way that she wanted, the way that her idea of it. So I think we just need to be open when it comes to relationships, when it comes to dating, when it comes to meeting that perfect person. We have to be open.
Yeah, and I agree. I think if there was one takeaway from you guys before we get out of here, that is allow people their humanity. Allow people the freedom to make mistakes, to be themselves, and to have grace for certain situations. Because when you need it, you're going to need it too. It's going to come back around. Life is cyclical, it goes in cycles. And you're going to need to give something that you're going to need someone else to give you at some point in this life. So allow people their humanity, allow them to speak from their heart, allow them their mistakes, allow them their shortcomings, and have your process, heal from it, do all of that, but don't hold it against somebody. It's not a mark on their character forever. So Kristian, one more time, tell everybody where they can find you.
Yes, I am Kristian Renè. You can follow me at junkie_boutique on Instagram. You can join our email list on our website. That's junkieboutique.com. And yes, shop our website and stay tuned to our holiday favorites and our holiday sales.
Yes, I love it. And like I told y'all, amazing, amazing high quality items. So, of course, this is me, you guys. We are signing off once again. Thank you for joining me. It's your girl, Levina J. And of course, I'm just looking. You guys next week.